So to start off this recipe, you want to make your crudido, and that's basically a vinegary slaw that goes on top. It's a condiment, and for that you're going to need some finely shredded cabbage, some grated carrots, some thinly sliced red onion, a little bit of jalapeño, that's optional, and you're going to need some Mexican oregano. If you don't have Mexican oregano, just use regular oregano. That's what I did. You're going to add that to a big bowl, and then to make the pickling liquid, you're going to take some white vinegar, you're going to add in some salt, and you're going to add in some hot water. I let it come up to a boil, and then I'm adding it in here. Now you're just going to mix this together until the salt is fully dissolved. Now we're just going to pour that on top of our veggies. And then we're going to give it a good mixing. Now I love this stuff. I can literally just eat it by itself. It's my favorite part of the pupusas. I love it. And then you're going to go ahead and put it in an airtight container. Now I made this a few hours ahead of time. You can make it up to 24 hours ahead of time. It sits in the fridge and it soaks up that juice. It's so good. Now we're going to set that aside to marinate. Now I'm using some leftover rotisserie chicken that I had. Usually the meat would be grounded up a little bit more, but I didn't want that. I wanted it to have more texture to it. I went ahead and seasoned my meat with my favorite seasonings: cumin, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, some paprika. Just season it up to your liking. Now for my filling, I'm using the chicken. I'm using some grilled onions, a little bit of sliced jalapeño. Here I have some refried beans. I just took a can of pinto beans and I put them in a pot, warmed them up, smashed them up. There you go. You do want to let your beans get cold so they're easier to work with. And then I also have some cheese. Now I'm using yellow Maseca Flour, and I'm going to add that to a big bowl. I'm going to throw in some salt and some room temperature water. Now the ratio was about 6 cups of flour to about 4 cups of water, give or take a little bit. Now what you're going to do is you're going to start mixing in your water, and you're going to start kneading that dough. You want to make sure everything's incorporated well. And what you're looking for is a Play-Doh type of consistency. You don't want it to stick to your hands, but you don't want it to be too dry, you know. So here I have a little bowl of oil. I'm going to go ahead and oil down my hands. You want to keep this on deck so you can keep your hands nice and lubed up so it doesn't stick to your hands. Now this first one was practice for me. I made it a little big. I made pupusas before on my channel. I'll make sure to link that video in the description box. They came out much better that time around. I'm a little rusty in the kitchen, y'all. I haven't really been posting as much as you can see, but I'll post that video in the description box so you can see how it's really done. This was just like a last minute thing. Now you're just going to take a dough ball, you're going to create a well, and then you're going to go ahead and fill it with your filling. You don't want to put too much. And then you bring that dough all together to seal everything in. And then you pat it out flat. It takes a little bit of practice, but I'll show you an easier way that I found because it was just not working for me. Now this is how you really do it. You'll have extra dough that you want to take off so it doesn't get inside your pupusa. And once you have your filling in and you seal it, you just take your greased hands and you pat it out kind of flat. If you have any cracks or anything, just simply pinch them together and keep going. Add a little bit of oil if you need to. Now this is the easier way I found it for me. I don't know, I just couldn't get the hang of flattening them with my hands for some reason. I took a tortilla press, I added a dough ball between 2 pieces of plastic. I flattened it out. Then I added my filling. You're going to go ahead and add your filling. Take another flattened piece of dough ball. Put it on top, add your plastic, take a cup to seal it and shape it. It's not the quicker way to do it, but it is the easier way if you just can't get the balls and your hands together and flatten it out and all that. So after you do it that way, you just want to make sure it's sealed all the way around. Now, once you're ready to cook them, you want to use a greased comal or a greased skillet. You're just going to let them fry up on each side until they're nice and golden brown. And once they're done, you're just going to top them with your crudido, a little bit of salsa, and enjoy. Yum.